Hi, I'm Mike Villar, and I'm running for Allegan County Prosecutor. Originally, I came to Allegan in 1991. Prior to that, I was at the University of Michigan Law School. After going to law school, I went to clerk for Judge Corsilia here in Allegan. Then I clerked in the Michigan Court of Appeals for a year. And after that, I began my own law practice, which I have been doing ever since. I raised my family in Allegan. I had 4 children. And during those years, I was an ASO soccer coach, a Little League baseball coach. I've coached AAU girls basketball. I've done a lot of coaching in my life. I think that it's important for kids to be involved in sports. It teaches them a lot of good things about teamwork, good things about hard work. And unfortunately, I've helped to raise 4 very successful children here in Allegan. And I think Allegan is a great place to raise children. If someone were to ask me what are my values in life, I'd have to say that I'm a very traditional Christian person. I believe in right and wrong. I believe in good. And I believe in bad. I think that people that do good should be rewarded, and people that do bad should be punished. That's a very simplistic way of looking at it. I tried to teach my kids as they were growing up to do the right thing, to treat people with respect, to treat society with respect, and to give it consideration. So in some sense, I think I'm an old-fashioned person with the moral sense that I have. Well, I raised 4 kids here in Allegan, and part of raising 4 kids is cooking for 4 kids. And as you can see, I do like to eat, and because I like to eat good food. And one of the best ways I found of eating good food is to learn how to make it. So I love to cook. My dad was Cuban, so I cook a lot of Cuban food. My mom was from the South, so I cook a lot of barbecue. Make my own barbecue sauce. Invite people over quite often. So for me, one of my hobbies is cooking and cooking good food. The other thing I do is I'm in a band called Strum Dumb and Dumber. I've been in that band for 10 years. And we play locally at various bars and restaurants in this area and around. We just played in Battle Creek last week. Music, I play guitar and I sing. Playing music is, again, one of the things that I enjoy just about more than anything else. I think I'm qualified for this job because I have been doing criminal defense since 1993. I care about the people that I represent. I care about the system that they're in. And so for me, guiding them through the system is the most important thing. A lot of people think that criminal defense attorneys are just getting people off the hook left and right on technicalities, and that's not the case at all. When people come to me, I give them the truth, and I give them the honest evaluation that says, you've done something that's going to be punished. And the issue is how much punishment is appropriate for you. And the goal is to reach that area where my client understands that they're receiving an appropriate punishment, and the prosecutor agrees that that's appropriate. So when you reach that agreement, that's usually something that's fair for all people involved. And that's how most criminal cases go. It's very rare that someone will get off on a technicality. It's very rare that people go to trial even, because trials are very risky and most people do not want to go to trial. Because I've been a defense attorney for many, many years, I believe that I know what it takes to be a good prosecutor. I know that I've had fairly good success in my trials and in my trial strategy against the prosecutors. I'm a fairly accomplished trial attorney. And because of that, I am able to plan and strategize in such a way that gives me an advantage. It gives my client an advantage in court if we have to take things to trial. I will be able to work with the assistant prosecutors and show them what I do and how I prepare, and show them ways of thinking about cases that are different. So one of the things that I would do as part of my training for the younger prosecutors is to make them prepare for their case as a prosecutor. And then when they're done preparing that, I would make them prepare for that same case as if they were a defense attorney. And in so doing, make them think from the other side so they can anticipate arguments, anticipate problems that might come about in their case. So in that way, I would get them thinking like a defense attorney so that they can anticipate the things that other defense attorneys are trying to do. So that forces them to think of it from a different perspective, and I think it will make them far more effective in trying cases against real defense attorneys. Right now, I am running because I'm concerned about how things are in Allegan County. I ran 2 years ago because I was concerned that the relationship between Myrene Cook and Marge Baker was inappropriate. The difference between 2 years ago and now is there's a 2-year track record that Myrene Cook has generated, and that has unfortunately justified all of my concerns. So there are many things that are happening that I feel I need to be changed, and I feel like I can do the changes. I believe that the Constitution affords us inalienable rights, that those rights were given to us by God. And if you believe in the Constitution, you believe that everyone is entitled to a fair trial. And I believe that. As a prosecutor, I would believe that my goal as a prosecutor is to make sure that trials are conducted in such a way that they're fair. Because I don't want any convictions that were based on things that happened that were unfair. It has to be a fair trial. And I know that in this county, there are cases that have not been fair. They have not been fair because the prosecutor has talked to the judge during those cases and had potentially an influence on the judge during those cases. But I know that just the fact that she talked to a judge during a case that's in front of the judge at the time is wrong. And it means that the trial that person had is not fair. I don't know how many other cases there are like that, but I'm guessing there are more than just the ones that were caught on county computers and county emails. And for every one of those times where the judge was spoken to by the prosecutor, it corrupted their trial and it made it unfair. I do have a written plan, and you can find that on my Facebook page. You can find that on my website, and it will also be posted as a link with this video. I believe that the way things have been run in the Allegan County Prosecutor's Office for the past 3 years have caused some significant problems for Allegan County, and I do have a plan to fix that. And I'd like to talk to you about some of the ideas that I'm going to implement should I be elected. The first was obviously don't talk to judges, don't violate people's constitutional rights. The second is to efficiently resolve cases. Do not drag things out that don't need to be dragged out. The third is to try the cases that need to be tried, and don't waste time trying to work on plea bargains with cases that have no incentive to plea bargain. The fourth is to train my prosecutors, to train them to be effective trial advocates. So those are the things that I would do, and I think that those things would reduce the jail population quickly, it would keep it down, and we would be putting people in jail that needed to go in jail. But for others, we would have alternative programs to allow them to pay back society. Throughout my career, I have stood up to people in power. And I've shown that I'm not afraid to go after people that are doing the wrong thing. And that's been as a defense attorney and a civil attorney. As a prosecutor, I promise to do the same thing. As you've seen in this campaign, I'm not afraid to call out people in power who are doing things that are unethical and corrupt. And my question for you is, wouldn't you want a prosecutor who's not afraid to go after people, even people in power that are doing the wrong things? And that's what I promise that I will do if you elect me as prosecutor. And so I'm asking you to vote for me on August 4th in the Republican primary. Well, as being a long-term resident of Allegan since 1991, it's been a city that has helped me to raise my 4 kids. And I've raised 4 kids that I love to be around now that they're adults. And I feel very blessed to have that happen. 2 of my kids right now are taking guitar lessons from me. And I said, and for me, there's hardly anything better than that, to have kids wanting to learn from me and having that time together to do something that's, for me, that's important. I love playing guitar. Allegan has provided an environment for me and for my children that we could grow and thrive. And I want to be a part of making sure that that goes on for the next generation.